Hello, good morning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session with Global GEG. Global GEG is a team of volunteer educator leaders from around the world here to empower and inspire teachers, schools, and educational communities in fostering environments of deep learning, creativity, and continuous growth. My name is Ritika Tyagi. I'm a Google certified educator and a co leader at Global GEG. And with me, I have Dr. Vishal Varia, who's a Google certified trainer, leader of GEG Ahmedabad, and a co leader at Global GEG. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks, Ritika. And today we are going to have a very interesting session with Global GG. Can we have our mentors, please, Ritika?
Yes, sure. Meanwhile, I would request everyone to please tell us from where you are, your Twitter handle, and let's begin the conversation. Hello, Renuka. Hello, Dr. Nilima. Please.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Uh, Dr. Nilima and Renuka are the SEL coordinators. They both are really amazing and they have vast experience in leading different projects for UNESCO. Welcome, both of you. I would request to tell something about yourself and then you can take over the session.
Thank you so much, Ritika. Hello, everyone. And at the onset, I would like to thank Global Google Educators Group for providing us this wonderful opportunity to interact with a vibrant community of educators across the different countries. And a very warm welcome to all our participants, and I look forward to a very exciting session. I'm Dr. Nilima Chopra. I'm an early childhood development professional and I'm working with UNESCO MGIP as the SEL skills coordinator. I'm joined today with my colleague Renuka. Renuka, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Nirima, thank you. Hello, everybody. I am Renuka Rotela, and I work at the Institute as a social and emotional learning coordinator. Previously, I have also worked as a teacher and have loved every bit of it being inside the classroom. And today, I hope we can have an amazing time together in this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Renuka. Well, let's introduce our participants to UNESCO MGIP. MGIP stands for Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peaceful and Sustainable Societies. Now, MGIP is UNESCO's Category 1 research institute in the Asia Pacific region, and it focuses on SDG 4.7, which basically talks about providing quality education for building peaceful and sustainable societies across the world. MGIP uses latest research in neurosciences to achieve its mandate, which is mainstreaming social and emotional learning in education systems. So, I think with this context and with this understanding of the background, let's move ahead with our session. And let's start our session by tuning into our emotions. So, tell us, how do you feel today? Type in your one word response to complete the sentence that you see on your screen. Today I feel. So Renuka, let me start with you. How do you feel today?
One word, then it's going to be bliss. So today is a fantastic day for me. So maybe Nirima, I can start. Oh wow, some amazing responses. So people are telling us that they feel happy, excited, exhausted, and I wonder, Reshma, why you feel exhausted, but you're also excited. Thank you for sharing that. A lot of people say that they're happy, great. Murafia says sick. Please get well soon. Then we have people telling us that they're fresh, frustrated, Geeta. I wonder why, but I hope you feel better by the end of today's session. Then Sushi tells us energetic, excited, enthusiastic, relaxed. Awesome, amazing responses. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Uh, Kulsum tells us she feels motivated, good, uh, delighted, relaxed, and oh, Reshma says it's the end of the day for her in US. So we have quite a few responses, Nirima, and most of them feel that they're all going in the direction of positive mental states today. So maybe with that, we can also ask them our next question.
Yes. So let's ask our participants the next question, which is, what do you feel is one skill that will lead to peaceful societies? So tell us, share your response with us by typing in the chat box. So, Renuka, tell me, what do you feel is that skill that will help us become more peaceful society?
So, Nigam, I think there are just so many skills and attitudes that one needs, or we all need, for a more peaceful world. But I also feel that one very underrated but extremely important skill for peaceful societies is mindfulness. And when I say mindfulness, I mean to be present in the moment, to be present with yourself and to others who surround you. So, for me, I'm going to say being mindful. What about you, Nidima? Like, what is that skill for you that you feel is going to lead this world to a more peaceful place?
Yeah. According to me, I feel appreciating diversity. I think appreciating diversity is very important these days. We need to we need to cultivate this skill in order to lead us to more peaceful societies. So I think that is interesting. Yeah.
Maybe I can also read some of the responses of people, and quite a few of them agree with you too. And I can read some of the responses. People are telling us that tolerance is very important, kindness. A lot of them have said kindness, cooperation, patience, gratitude. I'm glad somebody brought that in. Empathy, compassion, integrity. Beautifully said. Tolerance and respect of others' opinions and views. Mutual respect, good listening. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Sharing and caring, critical inquiry, somebody says. Good. Open communication, mindfulness, acceptance of differences, brotherhood. That's nice. Uh, Understanding and patience. I think we have quite a few of responses. And you know what? Somebody also says multicultural practices. Good that we're talking about this, which is again, very understated these days, and open-mindedness. So I think as people continue to share the responses, we welcome all of their opinions. But this is also a time where I would like to take you to the agenda of this session. So, with all the foundations of our check ins and the foundation of the skills and attitudes that we have laid down here, let's begin today's session by looking at our agenda. So, today we shall discuss four important questions. We will talk about what is social and emotional learning. It's popularly also called as SEL. The second question that we would be thinking about today is, why do our children need SEL and why are we having this conversation? The third is going to be, what is the science behind SEL? And the last one is going to be, how can we build SEL in our classrooms? So with that, Nilima, I wish to ask you, and it's more like an inquiry from my end. Like, I hear a lot of people talking about SEL these days. There is so much buzz around it. It's become like a hot topic of discussion. But when you engage with people, you realize that there is such a diverse understanding of it, and sometimes even confusions. So why don't we start the session talking about what is SEL?
Yes, Renuka, I think there is a lot of buzz around SEL these days. Everybody is talking about SEL and its importance. But what exactly is SEL? Well, SEL is the process of learning social and emotional skills. And it basically includes three parts. It includes parts it identify and navigate emotions. It includes practice meaningful engagement. It includes sorry about these notifications. It includes practicing mindful engagement. It includes exhibiting pro-social behavior. Well, identifying and navigating emotions is the ability to recognize our emotions, the ability to recognize other people's emotions, understanding how the emotions have an impact on our behavior. All this forms the part of identifying and navigating emotions. Practicing mindful engagement means when we practice mindful behavior, it is or mindful techniques, it is basically being present in the moment. It is being present in the now without any judgments. Exhibiting pro-social behavior means behavior which is done for helping others or for well-being of others. You must have participated maybe in blood donation campaigns, or might have cooked meals for your COVID affected neighbors. All these are examples of pro-social behavior. But I feel to understand social and emotional learning better, I feel that we need to understand the origin of emotions. So, the important question being, where do emotions originate in our body? So, it's very important to understand where do emotions originate in our body. We commonly associate emotions with our heart. We generally tend to say, we have phrases like, my heart will explode with joy, or when we're feeling sad or sorry for someone, we generally tend to say, my heart goes out to so and so, or my heart bleeds for so and so. So we generally tend to associate these emotions with our heart. So, Renuka, what is your understanding of this?
So Nilima, I completely agree to whatever you said, and maybe a few years back I would have said the same. But I know that they're somewhere located inside the brain. Not very sure, but I think it's a lot about the brain. So maybe we can ask our audience that questions, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask our audience the questions. Yeah. Where do emotions originate in our body?
So maybe we can wait for a fraction of seconds for people to respond to that. Okay, so great. I see some amazing responses. Let me read them out for you. Uh, Quite a few people said brain, uh, heart, amygdala. Okay, I wonder that where it is. Uh, okay, a lot of people are telling me brain, heart. Okay, so Nilima, I think you need to clarify this for all of us now.
Yes. I think a lot of our participants already know this information, but it's important to understand the significance of this information. The seat of emotions is definitely our brain, and all our emotions, whether it is anger, whether it is happiness, or whether it is love, all these emotions are basically located in our brain. And the brain has plays a very vital role in influencing our emotions, in managing our behavior. And when we have this understanding, we develop this understanding between the connection between our emotions, the brain, and the behavior. It leads to it has a huge implication for students overall learning and overall development. Now, we as educators, we often talk about, the overall child development, developing the whole child, educating the whole child. But our school activities sadly focus only on the academic skills, skills like literacy skills, numeracy. Now, these skills are important, but we often tend to ignore the social and the emotional component in learning, in the education. Let me give you an example from my experience. As a teacher uh, in primary grade, uh, I had a bright student in my class, and but of late I had started observing that the student was not performing very well. He was inattentive in the class, and he was not really enjoying his class activities. So I started giving him individual attention, but I also wanted to understand what is the reason behind this change of behavior. So I spoke with the father, and he informed me that the family was going through a difficult time. The mother had been diagnosed with cancer, and she was undergoing treatment. So immediately the connection between the change in this student of mine and the emotional turmoil that the child was going through, it became very evident, very apparent. But the important question is, how does SEL help here? Um, I'll give you another example. Imagine imagine a scenario where 10 10 year old boys are playing in the school playground, and they're playing football, and two of them get into a fight. They start fighting, and one student starts calling the other a cheater, or they start calling verbally abusing. The other child also gets upset. He's very angry, and in this all one of these children who are fighting, one of them just walks out of the playground. Now there is a conflict between these two children, and the conflict seems to have ended because the child has left the playground. But has the conflict been resolved? No. So what happens is that when we have these unresolved conflicts, they tend to have a very negative impact on students' social and emotional well-being, their behavior, and subsequently their learning. SEL helps students to understand their emotions. SEL helps students to manage their behavior, and therefore it in a way provides those tools to the students to manage their emotions. So something like emotional regulation, we might say. Do you agree, Renuka?
Yeah, I mean, to a large extent. But you know what, Nirima, I'm also feeling confused now. So, are we trying to say is emotion regulation the only skill that our students need, or I mean, is there something else also that SEL has to offer us?
Yes. So yes, the important question is emotion regulation the only skill we need for SEL? Well, SEL does consist of a wide range of skills. We can invite our participants to type in the chat box while I explain this further. Please share your response to this. Is emotion regulation the only skill we need to learn for SEL? But I would like to, share MGIP's viewpoint on this. So at MGIP, we believe we have a framework for understanding SEL. Now, this framework is known as EMC square. It's easy to remember, EMC square. Now, EMC square basically consists of four components: empathy, mindfulness, compassion, and critical inquiry. Now, empathy is the ability to emotionally understand what the other person is feeling. It is the ability to stand in another person's place and to understand their feelings and their perspectives and their thought process. So, let me again give you an example to make this clearer. Um, Again, from my teaching experience in the primary grades, I had just finished distributing a graded assignment to the students in my class. And there was general exuberance, and there was general excitement, and children who had done well on the assignment, they were very happy. But I observed that there is this one student of mine who was not feeling very happy. But I knew that she had scored well, and she had done well on the assignment. So I just walked towards her and I asked, "Why aren't you happy? What is the problem?" And what she said really amazed me. She said, I'm not happy because my best friend has not done well in the on the assignment. And clearly, this student of mine is demonstrating empathy, and she understood what her best friend was going through, what the emotions of those of her best friend were. So this is empathy. And why is it important? It's important to nurture empathy amongst students, amongst young children, because when we cultivate empathy in students, it tends to lead to stronger bonds. It tends to lead to stronger relationships, not only between students, but also between students and teachers. And it creates a very positive learning environment in the classroom. And on a larger scale, I would say empathy leads to more peaceful and tolerant societies. So let's move to the second component, which is mindfulness. As we talked about mindfulness a little earlier, mindfulness is being present in the moment without any judgments. And we have seen, as educators, you must have observed that the students tend to have short attention spans. They might get distracted easily, maybe because of the digital distractions that are there, maybe because of the disruptions in learning that have happened due to COVID-19. Older students also have a lot of stress and anxiety because of the exams, because of the competitions. They might worry about their future, and they might get overwhelmed with these thoughts. Now, practicing mindfulness techniques, they can help students to calm down and to overcome a lot of these problems and challenges. Do you agree with us? Okay. Let's move on to the third component, compassion. Now, compassion basically is the process of understanding some else's suffering and taking action to alleviate it. A simple act like carrying the heavy bag of an old person, uh, a bag of groceries to their car, helping them do that is a simple act of compassion. And it's a very compassion and kindness are very important SEL competencies, and I feel they embody the spirit of the Sanskrit phrase Vasudevai Kutumbakam, which means that the world is one big family. And if students learn to appreciate this, that we are all part of a common humanity, then I think it will lead to much more peaceful and tolerant societies. Okay. Continuing with the critical inquiry, that is the fourth component of EMC square. And critical inquiry is so many times we take we practice certain practices, we have beliefs, and we take them for granted. We don't question them, we don't reason with them adequately. Critical inquiry teaches our students to question, to justify, and think of the world as a better place, or think of the world in a different way to make it better for everyone. So I think these are the four different components of EMC square. Renuka, would you like to add something here?
Nilima, beautifully summarized. I think our audience has kind of understood the competencies because I'm reading the comments. But one thing that I would definitely like to emphasize here is that all of those skills that Nilima just spoke about, these are all teachable and transferable. So basically, what we're trying to say is that, there is science and evidence from neuroscience that's telling us that just how you and I can learn how to, let's say, cook, learn how to play music, learn a new sport, or just learn something, a new skill altogether, we can also learn these social and emotional learning skills. And if we can learn them, so can our kids. So there is no barrier of, the age or the stage. So as much as we can learn them, we can also teach them. And I think that's a great add-on that we as educators must take back. And just to also let you know that this amazing capability of our human brain to be able to, be molded and form new neural circuitries and to learn new skills is actually called neuroplasticity. You might want to learn later, more about it later. I think one more thing that I want to emphasize here is that these skills have an overarching effect. So when we talk about peace and prosperity and sustainability for the planet, for ourselves, I think it's very important to realize that these social and emotional skills and behaviors and attitudes have a long or have a very big impact in that, especially when you try to talk about, mental well-being and emotional well-being. So I think there is just so much that SEL skills have to offer. And maybe Nilima, you want to now tell us what advantages does SEL have for our children?
Yes, advantages of SEL. Well, there are a number of advantages of SEL. What we have found is through research which has been conducted, where students have been exposed to SEL, is that students who have been exposed to SEL, there is an improvement in students' social and emotional skills, their attitudes, their relationships, and academic performance. Also, students who have been exposed to SEL programs tend to show a decline in anxiety levels. There is a decline in behavior problems or disruptive classroom behaviors, as we, educators often face this challenge. um, Another emerging challenge which we find with young adults is of substance abuse, wherein children are we know that children are taking on to substance abuse. So this problem is also resolved to an extent by implementing SCL programs in schools. A cost benefit analysis research was also undertaken by economists, and it also shows us that SCL is a wise financial investment. So, Renuka, would you like to tell us more about the long term improvements from SCL programs?
Yes, of course. So, see, if we begin to change the narrative from merely looking at human beings as existing versus looking at human beings as a community that wants to thrive, that wants to flourish, that wants to be successful. So, I think as the conversation of SEL is very meaningful. So, these are SEL skills are critical if you want to think about, the long term success or happiness in life. And like for example, I can give you the example of a very essential SEL skill, which is being able to build, manage, and restore relationships. So this is a skill that we teach in SEL, and technically it's a lifelong skill that has helped us, all of us, to survive in the roughest times. If you look at pandemic, the world has been on a long closure. We've all been inside our homes for a very long time, and we do recognize that our emotional well-being has been compromised. But if you think that one thing which has helped you to really navigate this time has been supportive relationships. So relationships have an overarching, a very strong impact in your life. And another thing that we must recognize here is that there is enough research which has been done on students, and students have been asked about what is one thing that they've been missing during this closure. And more than anything, I think most of them have come back to say that we miss friends. We miss social interactions. We miss interacting with our teachers, with other peers, with just strangers and acquaintances on the road. So SEL skills like relationships have a long way to go. They actually take care of us in ways that we can't even imagine, especially our well-being and so for our students. Um, I think this conversation that we are having today about this particular course, cultivating SEL in classrooms. I think that there cannot be a better time to have this conversation because we understand that right now our kids need more support, especially with their well-being, and we also need support because things have moved into digital space. It's all become remote learning. So maybe the ways in which we were imagining SEL before needs slight tweaking. So I think this is an excellent time to also talk about our course, Nilima. So, ladies and gentlemen, to serve the need of the mental and emotional well-being of our students and to also help you do all of that digitally, we have an amazing new course, a digital course which has been designed for the well-being of your students, which is called Cultivating SEL in Classrooms. Maybe I can take a few more minutes to help you understand what this course is. So this course is particularly targeted at educators who work with young children. It's a self-paced course, learner-driven, and it shall take you about 15 hours, maybe in a span of 4 to 5 weeks to complete the course. And one of the exciting parts about this course is that when you complete it successfully, you also receive a certificate of completion, and a certificate that says that you are a teacher who has been trained in using SEL in the classroom space. And maybe you would just want to like take the certificate, treasure it, and frame it and hang it to your walls. With that, I would also like to take you through what educators would be covering in this particular course. So there are many learning outcomes, but few of the learning outcomes which are more like an enduring learning outcome, or the major learning outcome goals for this particular course are on your screen, and maybe you can quickly read them through, and then I can help you just understanding that. So
Thank you,
yes.
Renuka. Yeah. So, shall we
Yeah,
take our
please.
participants to the course now? Shall we show them the course?
Absolutely, Nilima. Yes, yes. We should take them to the course. Maybe you can give us a sneak peek now.
Yes, yes, I would love to do that. Thank you so much. So, as you have, we've mentioned about the course. The course is SCL for classrooms, and the course is available on Framer Space. So, for accessing the course, you have to go on Framer Space, open Google Chrome, and type in Framer Space. So here I would just, there are two ways of going to the course: by typing framerspace.com on Google Chrome. And there is a link also which can take you directly to the course. I would request the GEG team to kindly share the link in the chat box. So once you type in framerspace.com, it will take you to this particular landing page. Okay. So once we are here, you can see that there is a sign up option. New learners will need to sign up, and signing up is a very easy process. I'm sure you'll manage it. But in case you have any difficulties, we've prepared a short video presentation of how to sign up on Framerspace, and I would request the GEG team to kindly share this link with our participants. It's a short video presentation which will help you in signing up for our course. Okay, so now taking the participants to the course, you see this is, we have a view public course button, and we click on it, and it will take you to the landing page where there are many other courses also. There are a whole bunch of other courses from MGIP. You can take them also, but today we are talking about SEL for classrooms. So this is our course. We go and click on this, and voila, the course opens up in front of us. So if you see, the course consists of an introductory module, and there are 5 other modules in this course. Introductory module, now we click on introductory module. Now, introductory module basically provides very useful information, very basic information about the course. What are the objectives of the course? What is the criteria for certification? So please go through it very carefully and also complete the survey at the end of the introductory module. Now, we once you finished introductory module, we will go to module 1, and I will show a few resources that are there in the course. So, module 1 basically talks about the importance of SEL, and we have very useful information, resources in the forms of videos, interesting videos for our educators, for our ECD professionals, which can help them understand the importance of SEL. There are a number of these research papers and blogs. So if you click on this, it'll take you to this research paper or blog. Very interesting reading material, again related to the importance of SEL. Assessments, there are MCQs, there are reflection blocks. So we believe that reflections and discussions are an important, or they are core SEL competencies, and we encourage our participants, our learners, to reflect on their learning. That is a very important thing. So you will find that these reflections and discussions are seen throughout the course. You will find them throughout the course. So once you do this, there is you finish this module, then it says you're now ready to go to module 2. There are some additional resources from, again, research papers from MGIP. You can go through them. And now I will very briefly take you through module 2 also, because module 2 has something very interesting. Module 2, 3, 4, and 5 are interesting because they also provide activities that you can do in the classroom. So just to give an example, we talked about empathy. So we explain empathy in the course. Then there is reading material related to why teaching empathy is very important for children. And then you can see we have activities, activities like naming and recognizing our emotions. So these activities are very provided in a very detailed manner to all our participants. Discussion points, which teachers can use to initiate a discussion with their children in the classroom. All these are provided. Then another activity example is field wheel activity. So some fun, nice, child-friendly activities. The course also consists of very child-friendly videos. Videos like how to explain empathy to children. Uh, and these videos and these activities, they make the task of the teacher easy, because you have to explain difficult concepts to children. So how do we do that? These activities and videos and resources help you in doing that. So here I would just like to take a pause and show you one of my favorite videos in the course. I really like this video. I would like to, I will play this video for all the participants. I want you to see this video. It's a very short video, 1 minute video. And then after the video, I would just invite you to reflect. Take a moment, be with yourself, take a moment and reflect on what the video made you feel. So here we go. I will play the video and we'll continue the session after the video. Okay. So just reflect on what are your feelings after watching this video. What happened in the video? How was the child who did not have any food feel in the what was he feeling? Reflect on what were the feelings of other children in the classroom, and what made the other children um, help this child. So now these kind of reflections are very important when we talk about SEL skills in the classroom. These kind of skills, these kind of reflections and discussions in the classroom, they nurture the skills, EMC squares that we have been talking about. They they provide the platform to the students to talk about these skills, to talk about their feelings, to express what they are feeling and how their feelings, their emotions affect their behavior and the behavior of everyone around them. So, like I said, reflections are a very important aspect of the course that we are talking about, SEL for classrooms. And throughout the course, even in Module 3, Module 4, and 5, we talk about these kind of activities. Module 4, for instance, talks about managing relationships. So there are activities which the teacher can do with the students. There is a fun quiz to find out if you have a healthy relationship or friendship with your friends in your group. Module 5 talks about the the relationship of the child with the larger community, and important skills of appreciating diversity. So this is about the course from me. Renuka, would you like to add something to this, please?
Nilima, that video is so moving, and there are a lot of people who responded how much it touched them, and I think they have also rightfully identified that when you talk about kindness and compassion, our kids are actually literally born with it. We don't have to do much; we just have to nurture these. I think one last thing that I would just like to say that this course is an evidence-based, uses an evidence-based approach to SEL. It's not been created by the perceptions of few people, but an entire science has gone to develop this course. Also, some of the competencies that we as teachers, feel strongly about, like growth mindset or appreciating diversity, self-compassion, motivation, all of these things you'll find in the course. And personally speaking, one of the highlights that I find very enduring in the course is that it has ample amount of resources and so much opportunity for teachers to take from that course. So many tools that you can use inside your course, especially digital tools, digital SEL tools, which have not been spoken about much. And another exciting thing is that this course right now is in English, but a Hindi translated version is also coming up very soon. So if you are interested in learning SEL,
Uh, Nilima ma'am, I think Renuka has lost connection. So can just kindly
Okay.
take over the yeah.
Okay, no issues. Yeah. As Renuka was talking about the course, she was telling us about the highlights of the course. It is an evidence-based course. It provides the educators with many resources. It is full of these resources, interesting reading material, videos. So, and as we mentioned earlier, The course is available on Framerspace. So we would invite all our participants to go and check the course. And to register for the course, you may visit framerspace.com as demonstrated earlier in the session, and you sign up for the course, do the course, and if there are any problems, queries, or questions related to the course, write to us. The email address is classroomsel.mgip@unesco.org. So we are generally a very friendly set of people. So feel free to write to us, and we will respond. I would here request GEG team to kindly share the link of the form, which is basically if you fill this form to express interest in the course. And yeah, happy learning, everyone. And this is the time we can probably use to take up questions, if
Yeah.
any.
Uh, yeah, Renuka ma'am is here. Yeah. So, very first thing, Nilima ma'am, I mean, it's a really a great session, and you got given great insights to the course. SEL course seems to be very interesting, and I think it's need of the time that we make this possible and feasible for students to learn these kind of skills for a better society, for better citizens, or rather, I would quote it as responsible citizens. So this is something very, very important. And yes, Ritika, we must share the course link over here so that the audience is aware about from where to join. And yeah, Renuka ma'am, you may please continue what you were saying because we just lost you in between.
Yeah, I think that was terrible, my and I could see my power going down. I couldn't even get up to switch it on. And sorry for that, but I had completed my point. I think last we just need to do is question and answers. Any, and I don't think Nidima we are left with anything else.
Yes, I think we can take
Yeah,
up questions and
yeah,
answers. Any comments, any feedback that you want to share
yeah.
with us, participants, you're most welcome to type it in the chat box, and we would love to respond to those.
So the session is open for questions. If you got any questions, you can please type down the chat and we'll be taking up. As such, I really appreciate the work UNESCO is doing. I really appreciate the work the MGIP program is doing. And this is something beyond the school or beyond the classroom. I would agree to this particular concept as we have got more nuclear families nowadays, and especially during COVID times where we could not, visit anybody's houses. People in Britain, they are either staying in couple or they're staying with smaller kids, but they are not allowed to visit different houses. So there is an emotional gap. There's a social gap, and only this digital through digital technology, through digital tools that we are able to bridge this gap. And this particular course, I think, rightly fits in at this point of time, where physically, practically, which is not possible, we are making it possible through digital means. So again, kudos to UNESCO and to MGEIP team for launching this course, and it's really interesting. We would definitely wish that more and more students enroll for this. So thanks for sharing this valuable information.
Thank you, Michelle. I can see some questions. Can we just quickly take them?
Yeah.
So somebody has asked, how can we contact you? We've already shared an email ID for correspondence. It's called queriesclassroomsel.mgip@unesco.org. The link is right there, sir. So you can write to us and we can help you with, induction to the course and any other queries and problems that you might encounter later. Thank you. A lot of you said you enjoyed the session. We are very glad, so glad, I can't even tell you. We also hope to see you on the course now. And I think a couple of questions were asked about the content, and there were some kind people who responded to them, and they were all correct responses. So that's great. Can SEL initiatives help a student improve their behavior? Nirima, there's this one question from Ananya. Would you like to respond?
Sorry, could you repeat the question,
Oh,
please?
I'm so sorry. It says, can SEL initiatives help a student improve their behavior?
Oh, yes. I think SEL really helps students to, like I said, it really helps to understand their emotions and recognize their emotions and understand the link between the emotions and our behavior. So when we recognize our emotions, we recognize what is happening within us. We are better able to manage our behavior. We are better able to, respond to the various stimuli that happens outside us. So, a common example that we often see, is if we are stuck in a traffic jam, we are going, we have to catch our flight, and we are delayed. There is a traffic jam, and the obvious, reaction is to get panic, to get worked up, and all these stresses that you can see, anxiety building up, and it then shows up. We start shouting at maybe our fellow colleagues and our companions. So SEL basically gives you those tools to reflect on your emotions, on your behavior. It encourages you to just slow down, to pause, and realize that what is happening within you, and accordingly respond. And it's very helpful, especially I would say it's SEL is very important at all the times, but especially important maybe if you're going for an exam, you're appearing for a competition, and we tend to have those, where everybody feels those stresses. SEL mindfulness techniques, they really calm you down and equip you to better handle the situation.
Thank you, Nilima, for beautifully explaining that using examples that most of us can relate to. And there are some two really quickly. I will take two questions. Somebody says that can this course is this course beneficial at the age of 70? I think that age is no barrier. You
Yes.
can take this course at any age, at any stage. In fact, I also quickly want to add here that as part of so what you saw today is the course Cultivating SEL for Classrooms, and closely packed to it, we also have another course which is called SEL for Teachers. So, if you would also want to develop your SEL skills, and when I say your, I mean that, most of us are educators, I believe, and we are also, stressed by the challenges that our jobs have to offer. And most of the times we stop thinking about our mental and emotional well being. So, I think it's also a time to take a step in the direction of our mental and emotional well-being as well as our students. So, this course is also publicly visible, as Nilima showed you. You can also find this course on the homepage. It's called SEL for Teachers, and this course is called Cultivating SEL Inside Your Classrooms. And if you do both of them, I mean, you're going to have a gala time inside your classroom. I can vouch for that. Somebody also asked one question. Sorry, do I need a professional background for taking the course? No, not surely. If you, if you're enthusiastic about education, working with children, you definitely can take this course. It is pretty simple to follow. Um, is it a self-paced course? Yes. Will we have any active live sessions or just the modules? Nilima, would you like to respond to that? Will we
Yes.
have any active live sessions or just the modules? Yes.
Okay. So as of now, we have introduced you to the course. The course is available. It is a self-paced course, and you can take it by signing up on Framer Space as we demonstrated in the session. In case you have any queries and you want live sessions or more hand-holding sessions, as we may call them, then you can write to us. We have provided you our email, classroomsel.mgip@unesco.org. I would just request GED team to share this email ID again. In case you have, you are maybe a school leader, a school administrator, and you want to have this course for your for school teachers in your school, then you can write to us. Yes, we can definitely organize induction workshops and hand-holding sessions for the teachers in the school.
Thank you, Nilima and Renuka. That was such a wonderful session. I would request everyone to please fill the Global GEG feedback form. It is given in the chat box and it is right over here as well. And you can also subscribe to our Global GEG channel and watch more videos and learn a lot from them. And thank you, Dr. Vishal, again for being such a wonderful host. And I'll thank you, everyone who has joined us today, shared their beautiful opinions, and made the chat so lively.
Thank you
Um,
so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Ritika, can you quickly share the famous space link once again? There are people
Yes,
who are saying, yeah, it's not opening, but it does open.
Yeah, there could be a spelling mistake in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, UNESCO, and thank you, Team MGIP, and for being with us on Global GG. And I'm sure that the audience, as well as the people who will be viewing the video later, would be benefiting from this particular session. And yes, the course is really wonderful and it's really appealing as well. So thank you for being with us today. So we may conclude the session, Ritika.
yes. Bye bye, everyone.